Welcome back to another episode on Miitopia. I'm your host, SurvivalMan1, and let's get started, shall we? So as you may notice, there are a couple things that are different here, so I will point them out here. So we're going to hit the X menu here. We're going to show you the records. Okay, so there's a few things you can do in the game to actually know what you're doing. I will show the medals at some point, just not just yet, mind you. The album, I'll show you what you can do with that at some point. The journal is something that you can do. There's 6 different things in the journal. There is MeCast, which shows you the list of me's that are in roles of the job roles that you have listed and the default characters that are in the game. So, as far as new characters, we have the roving photographer, which is named Snaps. Takes pictures of travelers in the hopes he can sell them off, which I don't like to keep them because they're not so good of a photo. But if you get a really good photo and it's hilarious, then yeah, you can keep it, but that's just my personal preference. Alright, we've got a Quizmaster. We have as follows. We have Quizmaster Askell. He is an oddball who voices quizzes on inspecting adventures. So we will deal with him throughout the game and also post-game as well, because that's what I'm going to be doing as well. So, keep in mind. Prodigious Postman. So it's kind of like a postal service. He will give you letters throughout the game. Depending on where you're at, he will give you letters at random, so you won't know if you're going to get a letter or not. But there are pre-spots that early on in the game, throughout the main story, that he will show up if you actually go to the particular route that you're at. Of each expedition is what I call them, because some of these areas and spots you have to go through multiple times to get a yellow flag, and I will explain that once we do the first level here in a minute. Roaming Gourmet, which is a type of person that gives you 3 of the same item of food or grub that he shows you and tells you all about the food, how wonderful it is and everything, and then gives you 3 of it of the same thing. So, Nintendo Fan is a person that you can scan amiibo that you have in your own home. That gives you like a piece of clothing. Like, for example, I have a few amiibo here, as you already know, from my Super Smash Ultimate series, mind you. I have Princess Peach, I have Bowser, I have Yoshi, I have Luigi, I have Inkling, Mario. As far as the amiibo that you can get as for clothing wise, those is what I have so far. Oh, also is Link and Zelda, and they are not figurines. They are actually a keychain and like a NFC tag, but they still consider as a amiibo. So keep in mind, you get clothing by scanning these in, depending on what amiibo you scan in. There you go. Alright, so moving forward out of that. So, monsters. There is a lot of monsters. So, I will make sure you know what monsters you're dealing with and what to expect from them. And there are some that I hate the most. And yes, I use the word hate. Hate is a strong word. But there are monsters I do, in fact, hate the most. So, I'll point those out and what you must do in order to avoid the problems I had with such monsters. So, grub is something that you get through by defeating monsters or some other method, which I will explain that once we do get to that point. Weapons you get by either purchasing when your Mii's ask for a weapon. Same thing for clothes. Music depends on where you're at and what level and what kingdom and where you're at. The music differs depending on where you're at. So, and you get different music throughout the game. So, there's that. Highlights are just basically like from beginning to end, like the actual story mode from clip to clip and such like that. So, we're not going to do that. The battles you can re-look at as the previous battles of what you've done so far. But keep this in mind. Over time, as you complete certain battles throughout the game, some will be deleted. So you got to be careful, because if you battle so much and you want to watch the first battle in the entire game, too bad, because that will be gone by the time you get all the way to a certain point. They will be deleted over time. So keep in mind, key items are some things that you will keep during the entire game. So I won't say what kind of items you're going to get. I will tell you what they are when we get them. Okay? So keep in mind of that notion. Alright, so with that, without further ado, let's get this started, shall we? Alright, expedition number 1. Let's go. Now, Eason Hills. Now, especially for expeditions, you're basically sitting back and watching your Miis walk this little path here, okay? Now, the battles you're going to see are very simple and easy and straightforward, so we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Alright, we have what it is, a rock moth. You get butterfly jelly from these things, okay? Okay, butterfly jelly is what you're going to get from these. So keep in mind, I will tell you what food or grub you're going to get from these things. So, let's get started. Alright, so now I'm going to do attack for this first round. And as you can see, it instantly kills it. Now, and of course, there's that. A little message here. Ho ho! These faces just flying right off. Of defeated monsters, eh? Whoever owned that face has you to thank for freeing it. Just like with that sassy youngster you helped earlier. Put another way, defeating monsters help people get their faces back. So keep defeating monsters and help as many people as you can. Can you do that for me, survival? Ho ho! So, as you can see, the amount of faces you save will get a certain amount of getting certain things. So, there are a few things I do want to point out, and a must that you need to do before you hit 50 rescued. There's a reason why I say that, because you don't want to miss the checkpoint of 50, because you'll miss the opportunity of having maxed out sprinkles. They will be handy and essential to the game. So I will explain once those come into play. So, and I'm not going to say what they are or what you get. So, or what kind of sprinkles you get. So, we're gonna, okay, so now, we are going to bring in a new me. And let's see. And mind you, if you are watching this, I can re-correct your name, by the way. If you are watching this, I can re-correct your name if I spell it wrong. So don't tell me I messed up, because you know what? I will fix it. Not a big deal. I can't fight these things. Oh, it looks like you're having a tough time there, champ. Oh boy. Don't worry. Help is coming. Alright. Choose a me that you would want to travel with you. So we're going to create from scratch. Of course, we're going to do that. We're going to Let's see. Let's see. Well, we're gonna go. And also, I can change your hairstyle and everything to your liking. So there's that. We're gonna go with that. Of course, we're gonna go like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you do have glasses, so we're gonna go with I don't know, like that one. And I can change your color to your favorite. So again, I don't want to get this wrong, so I'm gonna stick with red for now. But you can tell me your favorite color. And that, and your name. I'm going to start with that, and I will finish the name at some point. But, again, I know your name. I just don't know how to spell it. So, please bear with me. I will fix it after this video. So, let's go ahead and move forward. All right. Well, I would say you are actually very kind. I would say that. Pick a job. So we've got warrior, mage, clerk, thief, pop star, and chef. Well, I would say... What do you think? Pop star? But just remember, once it's selected, I can change that way later in the game, mind you. Way much later in the game. Can't say when, though. So, I would say that, I will stick with a pop star for now. So, yeah, there we go. So, confirm, done. Alright, so Brit. Alright, so even though it's named Brit, but it's Brittany, by the way. Shout out to Brittany, by the way. Alright, here we go. Let's get on with this, shall we? Alright, let's get started, shall we? Okay, so... Oh, dang. Alright, so we're going to do a straight up attack. We're going to do this one here. And he's down for the count. And I move again, and that's that battle. Very straightforward, I would say. Alright, did we win? Yes, we did. Alright, if you do want to join in on this little excursion, I have 2 slots left. So if you want to join in, please you leave your comment, your character's name, and the job role, as you saw there, in the comment below. So that way I know what job role you want and what your character name should be. So that's why I won't have this issue. Alright, so there's that. So you're off to save? Okay, can I join you? Absolutely. Who is not going to not deny that? Alright, Britt joined your party. Her actual name is Brittany, by the way. I just don't know how to spell it to the fullest, but I will change that. Not a big deal. I can change that. I can do that in this game, which I will show you at some point. Once we get to a particular spot, I will show you what you can do depending on what is coming our way. So, I can change the names, I can change their personality, but I can't change the job roles until I can at some point, which is not anytime soon. So be advised of that, by the way. So we have an HP banana. I will explain what an HP banana is. It gives you more health depending on if your health is low, it will give you health, which is now doing as that. As such, we're splitting it, and we get 10 HP. But if one meat eats it to themselves, it's 20. In case you didn't notice that. Okay? And sometimes some of the things that the Miis say during these little expeditions can be hilarious at times. So be aware, what can be said can be funny. So we are going to go ahead and hit this guy for a whopping 6 damage. He did. Nice job, Brittany. Not bad. And I think I can change your name to what you have on your page. So I can do that as well. So then that way I can spell it correctly instead of having someone correct me. So, like I said, not a big deal. I'll make sure it is fully out there so then that way it's there. So, unless you have a name for yourself, then go for it. And I can put it as that as well. So, not a big deal. I can change it as many times as I want. But it's up to you. It's your character. I made it. So, there you go. Alright. Phew, I'm so tired. Me too. I'm wondering how long I can last. But, unfortunately, wait, what's that? I found an inn. An inn, come on, let's pop in for some rest. Praise to be the deity of well-placed inns. And every expedition you will go to a next inn for each expedition. And this is how you enter as such. Okay? It's time for the two of you to pick a room. When two characters share a room, their relationship will naturally grow. The closer two characters are, the more they help each other out in battle. So pop them into a room together and watch how they get along. So we're going to go right over here. We're going to go down here and bam. Okay, so there's 5 things we can do here at the moment. We can spend gold. Okay, so shell out some gold for your team to help them buy things they want. They may want snacks which can be shared among the team. Or they may want something for themselves, such as a new weapon or a set of clothes. They can come back with all sorts of stuff. There's a slim chance they might be tempted to buy something you didn't suggest, but hey, it happens to everyone sometimes, right? Alright, so we have enough gold for at least one of these things. Yeah, we do. So, we're going to go with, of course, the banana for now. So, I bought a 1 HP banana. Eat grub. Now, the food that you find in your journey can be fed to your team members. Their stats will improve a bit by bit as they eat. So be sure to give them all nice big meals after each leg of your journey. There are times where that won't happen. So keep in mind of that. And initially, the amount of their stats will increase is directly linked to how much they like the food. If they don't like what they eat, don't expect to see much of an improvement. Try feeding them their favorite foods and watch them get stronger and stronger. Alright, so we have a slime jelly, we have a goblin ham, and butterfly honey. Alright, now we're going to do this one for myself here. Okay, that is a normal reaction there, by the way, in case you didn't notice that. Now we're going to do goblin ham. And wow, she hates that. Definitely not a good thing for her to eat. So we're going to do butterfly honey. We're going to go, and she hates that completely. All right, remember that next time. All right, now we're done with that. Check on the team. There's a couple things to keep in mind. You're free to group the party members however you like. If you want two party members to bond, try making them in a room together. An ellipse will float over their heads when something is going on. Touch it to take a closer look inside the room and watch events unfold. If you're itching to help shape their little lives, aren't you? There's really nothing going on, so we're going to keep it at that. And the arcade, there's a couple things you need to know. I don't ever do rock, paper, scissors unless I'm very lucky. Okay? A roulette is something that you can try to get. Like, for example, the roulette that I see right now, and you guys as well, not a very good roulette, but the chances are of getting a bronze sword. I mean, look at the yellow there for a second. Not a good combo, or not a good section, do you think? Nah, I wouldn't say it's not a good way of getting that chance. But if I had 10 tickets, the chance out of 1 out of 10 tickets is very small. So the chances of that is very small. And with the MP candy, I will explain that at some point, just not yet, or what they do yet. But look at that gray area right there. That is a way much bigger section than the rest. So the chances of 10 out of 1 ticket, greater chance than getting the yellow. Just saying. That's how I look at it. So I try to focus on the yellow more less than anything else on the roulette. But you know what? It's part of what it is. So, and also, I could do makeup and wigs as well. So I will explain that on my next video on Tuesday. Since I'm almost out of time, I don't think I would have enough time to do another expedition at this point. Since there was a lot of explaining to do, there's a lot of stuff I still need to explain, really. So, stuff. You can look at the stuff that your me is wearing. At the moment, I don't have any other weapon or clothing at the moment. I can't edit. Well, you can edit appearance, but they're all the same clothing and weapons, so I can't really change the appearance of any weapon or clothing at this point. So Brittany here is the same way. There is a debut mic. There is the Debonte outfit. I can't edit the appearance in any way, shape, or form because they're the same outfit and weapon, since there's nothing to change the appearance on that. The party, however, yes, I'm talking a lot, so bear with me here. I can change the details. I can change my name and face, personality, and war cry, which I will do something off screen just to give you guys a nice little surprise later. Abilities, now the stats kind of show you what you can get. As a warrior, they're pretty much high in the attack, more or less, of everything. So the higher the level, the higher the attack will be. So I will be doing very tremendous amount of damage. So at some point, but I can't have the warrior forever. So I'll keep that in mind. Relationships kind of give you like a list of people that you have relationships with. And no, you can't date anyone while you're in Miitopia. But in real life, yes. But in the Miitopia game, no. Just friendships. Keep that in mind. That's the only catch that relationships is focusing on. It's friendships. That's the only difference. Okay? But as far as dating relationships, that's on you. I'm not here to talk about that. Okay? But I want to make sure you know there is no marriage or any dating relationships of any kind in Miitopia. So, keep it in mind. Outside of Miitopia, yes. Alright? Keep in mind. Stats basically shows you how many times you've battled, how many bananas you've gobbled, MB candies. I will explain what those are at some point, and how many you've gulped those, how many grub you've eaten, how many gold you've grabbed, and then times left out of the party. I will explain how that happens at some point. And final blows are basically if you took the last final hit of the battle. That's how you know. Okay? Defeats is when your me has been defeated. Okay? This is the only catch. But besides that, it kind of gives you an array of different stuff to do. So on my next video, I'll be explaining how the makeup and wigs of how you can change your me to different designs of your face, but you can't put anything on the arms, legs, or clothing. You can't. It just only focuses on the face. That's it for makeup. And the wigs focus on the hair. Okay? Catch 22. I will explain that on the next video, how that works. So, if you like this video, please leave a like and a comment, and I'll see you guys next time on Tuesday for more Miitopia. I am your host, SurroundMan1, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.